It's now time for fantasy, Kyle. It is Road America edition, and you are on quite the roll, my man. 9 consecutive weeks with fantasy. I almost had you at Pocono. William Byron, of course, runs out of gas. Denny Hamblin runs out of gas. 2 guys I had in my lineup. Kurt Busch runs out of gas. He runs out of gas.
Yeah, Kurt Busch is the one that killed you. Yeah.
Everybody who ran out of gas, I had it basically in my lineup. So that was wonderful.
The guy that I had in my lineup that was stuck in 4th gear goes out and wins the race.
But I will say that's not a bad guy to win the race at the end of the day. Obviously, Kyle Busch.
I kept him in the lineup just in case something fluky happened and they could keep it in 4th gear and worked out for them. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened somehow. So I've been
him out.
I've been lucky. I've been on a roll. I'll take it. I've won 9 straight. I've won all 3 road courses, so I'm feeling good going into this weekend as well. But I will say, I feel like we'll have very similar lineups here because I feel like it's pretty straightforward. Some of the bigger names for this weekend, even if it is a track they haven't been to on the Cup Series schedule since 1956, but has been on the Xfinity schedule. So there's some guys with experience there, some guys as well that have ran the TA2 Trans Am race the past couple or last season, this weekend as well, which is a very similar driving car to the stock cars that they run as well, kind of like an ARCA equivalent. So very interested to see how things go this weekend because, of course, July 4th weekend, it's a big weekend for the NASCAR schedule, and they're doing it at a brand new track.
Yeah, this is a big monumental weekend for American history, obviously. July 4th weekend. It's the big shebang. Was at
on July
Daytona
4th as well. The first time since a Daytona race handful of years ago, at least.
Yeah. And
like you said, 13 or 14, something like that.
I think so. Something like that. May have been Almirola's rained out one. I'm not quite sure. In 2014, maybe. I couldn't tell you, but it has been at Daytona for a while. Then it went to Indianapolis last season. Yep. That is no more. So now it's now at the Road America circuit, which will be back the same weekend, it seems, for 2022 as well. So it's an interesting timing for this to make a new track, the July 4th weekend race, but hopefully it does well in its inaugural race or second race with the NASCAR Cup Series here. Should be an interesting one. Xfinity Series on deck and the Cup Series on deck. No Truck Series action this weekend. So I lead us off this week.
Yes, because
we don't have trucks. So even though I may have lost at Pocono, it does feel like I finally get that first pick with that first pick. So I will take it. And honestly, the Truck Series can just stay away for the rest of the season. That would honestly be pretty great.
Wow, that's harsh.
I'm kidding. Well, not like Kyle Busch is not racing it anymore. I don't care. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay.
But I'll lead us off. And my pick is pretty self-explanatory. I've been trying to save as many usages on this guy as I can. I burned one at Nashville because he got disqualified. And I lost fantasy because of that. It's Chase Elliott. His average finish over the last 11 road course races is 6.91. He has 6 victories in that span, 8 top 5 finishes, 293 laps led. He finished 4th in both trips here and in his Xfinity Series days when he did that series for 2 years in a row. So it's been a bit since he was down here at Road America for any series, but maybe this is a race where Chase Elliott can check that second win column here, get his second road course victory of the season. Of course, he only has 1 victory up to this point in this season, that coming at the Circuit of the Americas and its inaugural race. And that was, of course, rain shortened as well. So we'll see if Chase Elliott can pull it off. He's had a bit of a slow start to his year by his standards compared to what, honestly, we expected as well, coming off of a defending series champion or coming off of a championship. And he just has not quite found his form compared to his Hendrick Motorsports teammates that have been on fire. Not to say that Chase Elliott has been bad, but basically he was meant to be their premier guy. Kyle Larson has kind of taken that role right from underneath him when we just thought Chase Elliott was starting to grasp that. So I think it's going to be a big weekend for Chase Elliott. He's arguably the best road course racer, if not the best road course racer in the NASCAR Cup Series right now. Larson is giving him a run for his money. And I'm expecting big things from Chase Elliott. Hopefully he can maybe get the win this weekend, not just because I have first winner pick and I may pick him, but just for his standards and for his season, it would be a good way to kind of kickstart his season after we thought maybe Coda could have been that place. Maybe Road America here in the summer stretch is where it happens.
Yeah, Chase Elliott, obviously in the lineup for myself as well. Been saving those usages for these road courses, and they're finally coming thick and fast on the schedule. So I've got 4 usages left on Chase here. Absolutely using one of them here at Road America. As you mentioned there, didn't pick up a win in the Xfinity Series at this track, but we've seen him kind of blossom as a road course racer over the last couple of years in the Cup Series here and be a dominant force. Probably should have won the Daytona road course. Some different weird stuff going on with NASCAR there. One kind of took that one away from him, but at Sonoma was beat straight up by Kyle Larson, and at Coda as well. He was in the lead, but don't forget with their strategy, without that rain and the red flag, they probably run out of fuel, and Kyle Larson gets that win as well. So looks like it's going to be a dry weekend here at Road America. I mean, anything can happen, but looks like it's going to be a dry weekend. So should be a very, very fun battle with these guys at the front because you've got Chase Elliott there and a couple other guys that are going to be looking to take that win away from him, even though he is the favorite. And with that, next entry for myself, thought that these would be a little bit harder pressed to keep over the season after the hot start, but they've kind of slowed down a little bit over the last few weeks, which means that we've kind of kept these usages and absolutely got to use them at the road course. And that's kind of been Chase Elliott's running mate at these road courses the last couple of years, and Martin Truex Jr. At the beginning of the year was high flying at all the 750 tracks, all the playoff tracks actually, and looked like it was going to be like, man, you're going to have to really hold back to not use them up before all these road courses. But they've slowed down the last few weeks, and they haven't made it too hard on us. I've actually got the same usages for both Elliott and Truex here at 4, and I feel pretty good about using both of them here. Truex, even with how kind of down the last little bit of his season has still been very, very good at the road courses. You look at Daytona, had the wheel hop issue, finished outside the top 10, still got 35 points. Coda would have been up in the conversation if it wasn't for, the fact that they couldn't see on that stretch. And at Sonoma was his typical self, inside the top 5, didn't get the win, but had a very solid points day there as well. I can only imagine that those two will be clearly inside the top 5 for most of this day and be kind of 2 of your favorites going into this weekend.
Yeah, I have Trixx as well. I've got 5 usages left on him. So I am with 7 races left in the regular season and 5 usages of Martin Truex Jr. You're going to see him plenty in our fantasy previews on my side of things as it kind of comes to a close on the regular season. Average finish over the last 11 road course races, 7.91. So just a position worse than what Chase Elliott has been able to accomplish. 4 less wins than the 9 car with 2, 6 top 5s, 145 laps led though. So I expect the 19 car to be up there. Top 5 is probably an expectation for them given their road course history. It just hasn't quite clicked for them a bit lately. So it's just been really tough to find a place to play him, but I've saved him quite a bit. I wish I played him a little bit, honestly, more at the beginning part of the season, but even if he doesn't have a bad weekend, I'm still going to keep him in really because there's no other place I can use him. So Martin Truex Jr. is in my lineup. It makes it pretty clear why. And honestly, I really hope he does start to get things going here again. Like if they just need to pick up a little bit of pace here, and maybe Road America is the place to do it with a bit of practice here. And let's not forget Coda was in the wet in the practice and everything. So it's like really hard to judge off of Coda how well each car is because that was the last road course that we went to as well. So or no, Sonoma was. Never mind. Yeah, Sonoma. It's tough to say what Trixx can maybe do this weekend, but hopefully he ends up having a good day for the sake of both of our lineups. Yeah. Third selection for me.
I feel pretty good about Truex this weekend, I got to say.
All right. Third selection for me is a guy that's been red hot on these road courses so far this season. It is none other than Joey Logano. He's been pretty incredible. I used to think he was a really good road racer, kind of dipped off in form for a little bit. Now he's starting to refine that. Over the last 11 road course races, he's got an average finish of 12.91, 4 top 5s, 34 laps led. But this season specifically, he's the only driver to finish in the top 5 in all 3 road course races. Only 2 guys have finished inside the top 10, and of course Logano is one of them. He has scored an average point of .46 per race, and that is the most out of anybody. So they have played the absolute best strategy in terms of races, even though they haven't won any. They've been going for stage points and then getting the finishes on top of it, which is
staying clean.
Really, really good for Joey Logano. Gonna need it to do that again, kind of thing. Maybe pick up a stage winner strategy, kind of presents itself that way, where there is an opportunity to get something like that. It is such a long lap at Road America that who knows what the strategy is going to be. If you really do want to pit 2 laps before the end of the caution, when the pit road closes, that's a big risk at a long track like this with fuel mileage. So we'll see how that kind of works out with the
tire
lap
wear
counter
as well. It's not going to be like you can putt around for the 8 miles.
Yeah, it's a long track. So I think strategy will be impacted by that. Yep. I think you're going to see the top guys really kind of go for stage points as well in this one, because there's no real trade-off. You go 2 laps really easily, and then you have less fuel than some of these guys, which is probably going to be about 4 when you include caution laps and stuff. So there's a lot of different variables for crew chiefs to try and understand this weekend. But if I have any faith, it's going to be Paul Wolfe and Joey Logano to try and figure out that strategy, because they really do execute the stage point game to perfection. So feel good about the 22 car this weekend.
Yep, and I've got them in the lineup as well. I've got also 4 usages for Joey Logano the rest of this year. So the big 3 drivers that I'm using, they've been the big 3 guys on road courses, especially this season, and feel good about using them all this weekend. As you mentioned, Joey Logano has finished inside the top 5 in all 3 road course races this season so far. And in fact, he's the only one to finish inside the top 10 this season, with the only one other being Alex Bowman, kind of surprisingly there. So some issues for some of the other guys throughout some of these road courses, but Joey Logano and Alex Bowman have kept it clean. Joey Logano inside the top 5 even for these. So he's taken a big step on the road courses this year. Looking ahead to the schedule, road courses are prevalent, so made that a key focus for himself over the offseason, and has been paying off big time for him this season. So absolutely going in the lineup as well. And I think this is where the lineups start to get much more interesting, because you've got kind of the big 3 road course guys that you feel good in: Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano. There are other good road course racers, don't get me wrong. You look to Kyle Larson, you look to guys like Denny, Hamblin, Kyle Busch, those kind of guys. But those are guys that you almost want to play more so at your ovals and those kind of places. They can be options for yourself if you've got the usages on road courses. But I feel like Logano, Elliott, Truex are kind of the big 3 names that you look to, especially on the road courses. And from here, you've got a lot more options. You can go big, or you can look to save some usages. And for this next one is a guy that I'm looking to save usages on because he doesn't run the full schedule, and that is AJ Allmendinger in my lineup for this one. They've shown very well with colleagues so far this season on the road courses. You look, both top 10 finishes, 32 points at Daytona. And don't forget, that was even with them going to the back after a penalty, and at Coda, 35 points there as well. Didn't know what to expect from the AJ Allmendinger car on the road courses this season. And of course, they didn't go to Sonoma out on the West Coast, so should mention that as well. Didn't know what to expect from them this year, whether they would be kind of like in the middle of the pack and kind of getting a taste of the Cup Series, or whether they would be going for kind of race wins, and they're going for race wins. So Road America here, a great track for AJ Allmendinger, is one here at the Xfinity Series level. Feel good about him this weekend for colleague, and to save a usage for myself. So AJ Allmendinger is going to be in the lineup for myself.
Yeah, good picks there. I have 5 usages left on Logano as well. I forgot to mention that.
Okay.
So, wow. I'm set up for the end of the regular season here with him and Truex and Elliot. So I've tried to manage them as much as I can, and it has cost me the last of them? 4 for Elliot.
Okay. That's what I thought, but
yeah,
that's still pretty damn good. So
I'm not too unhappy with that, but it has cost me 9 straight weeks of fantasy. So
I mean, you know,
I would like to be compensated for that. Thank you very much, but I am as well copying you on AJ Allmendinger.
Okay.
There's no way I'm not playing this guy, and I think the real big factor for me with these next 2 picks, including Allmendinger here, is that they're Xfinity guys and they're running the race this weekend, and they have previous history here at this track. They have many more laps of the Cup Series guys around this track, which is going to be key for them. And they are going to be very, very good, I think, because they have qualifying to boot with this weekend. So they're going to put their cars in pretty good track position. They probably will punt on stage points to get the victory, which is not the worst thing. But like I said, the strategy could be all over the place where you just kind of have to accept where you finish in the stage and then just kind of go from there. I don't think they're probably race winning equipment. We've kind of seen them kind of teeter out at the 6th to 8th mark. But 6th to 8th mark, I will take that on a road course. So if I can kind of get that every time I use like AVG Allmendinger usage, I will be very happy. He's got one top 5 in the last 5 road course races, 7 laps led. He won the Xfinity Series race all the way back in 2013 here. But he finished pretty decently here last season, doing the double duty, of course, this weekend as well. So feel really good about Allmendinger this weekend. He could be a really big player in that front foot of these guys. And I really hope he does well, because I love to see these guys kind of on these one-offs coming in and trying to spice things up at the front of the field. It's always good competition. For my next selection, it is also an Xfinity Series guy. It's Austin Cindric. The guy is unbelievable on road courses. I mean, and today in practice for the Xfinity Series, albeit they only had a couple of laps to really get underway with all the red flags, but he was almost a second faster than the competition. And that includes Kyle Busch in that field, who was all the way back down in 7th. So Austin Cindric seems to know this place very, very well. Finished 2nd here in 2019, won this race last time out in 2020, pulling the double duty this weekend, getting a lot more extra laps on the track. And he earned a lot of stage points and raised a lot of eyebrows at COTA. I know he didn't finish great, finished 25th in that race, but was up at the front of the field for a large majority of that race. Yeah. And I think that, in the dry, we'll really see what Cindric can be kind of made out of here. He's going to have to prove himself, I think, a little bit here this weekend, going into a Cup Series ride, potentially for Team Penske next season. He's in a Team Penske car this weekend. He's got a little bit to prove, and this is a place where he's very comfortable, it seems. So I'm expecting big things from Austin Cindric. I don't expect a win, but a top 7 finish is for sure what I'm kind of looking at for Cindric based off of previous expectations and what he's able to do on these road courses. And he's in Penske equipment, which we can see is clearly capable of a top 5 finish, hence Joey Logano's record so far on road courses. So I imagine you have Cindric as well. So I'm curious to see what you kind of go for your last pick here, because I think those top 5 are really kind of your bread and butter. And of course, we don't have to worry about Cindric and Allmendinger usages. They're going to be here probably on road courses for the rest of the way for the rest of the season. So they're probably going to be
maybe not for Cindric. They skipped the Daytona road course. They've looked kind of some places where it makes sense for Cindric to make those Cup starts. We could see him go the rest of the way on road courses. We could see this as the last road course. I'm not too sure what the plan is for Cindric the rest of the year. Yeah. This is the last one that they've actually announced. We know that there's more coming. We just don't know where at just yet. But what I will say is before the show, I was talking about there was one pick that I was kind of tossing up and didn't know which way to go. And that actually did involve Austin Cindric. I was wondering whether to go with Cindric or whether to go with this other guy. They're both guys that have won at the Xfinity Series level at Road America, but didn't know which way to go.
I know what you're going here.
Austin, I don't think you do. It was between Austin Cindric and Michael Mcdowell.
Yes,
between myself for that one. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I know my stuff.
Hey, there's a handful of winners at Road America that are in this field, so I didn't know. But for Cindric versus McDowell here, McDowell got some good stage points, finished well at the Daytona road course and COTA, but needed a little bit of chaos for that to happen. Of course, COTA with the rain, everything like that, and then good finish there. Daytona, kind of the late craziness there. I like Michael McDowell quite a bit this weekend, but just the high-end value of Cindric and the high-end potential is just too much to overlook for myself. So I am going to have him in the lineup as well. This is one of his better road courses. You mentioned it, 2nd in 2019, winning the race in 2020. Feel very good about him this weekend for the Xfinity Series race. And I feel like that should carry over to the Sunday race and qualifying, everything like that. So they don't need to worry about starting at the back or anything like that. So Austin Cindric should have, he at least has the potential to have a good day. Now, whether he follows through on that remains to be seen, but feel good about what they could bring to the table this weekend. It's kind of that we saw a glimpse of what they're capable of in the wet on those dry tires, or on those slicks, I should say, at the beginning of COTA. So we'll see. But for my last pick, this is a guy that I did have penciled in or even penned into my lineup originally. So it was a toss up between Cindric or McDowell. And of course, this means that we're 5 for 5 right now, which means that we got to go different on these last 2 picks. And I feel pretty confident about this guy going into this weekend, even if it's kind of been a bit of a slump for this team recently. And that's Christopher Bell. Looking at what they've done, what he's done in the past at this track, in particular 2019. He won with a field at Road America that consisted of the likes of Austin Cindric, Tyler Reddick, Kaz Gralla, Justin Haley, Chase Briscoe, Justin Allgaier, Cole Custers, all guys who have road course prowess, but even looking deeper in the field, some guys who had issues, but he did beat them. AJ Allmendinger, John Hunter Nemechek, and don't forget Matt DiBenedetto was in that race as well in the 18. Finnett was running second, had a good car that day, had some bad pit strategy or had a bad pit stop, fell behind Christopher Bell, and Christopher Bell was able to hang on to that lead. So when I'm looking at this one here, Christopher Bell has had past success at this racetrack. He's running the TA2 Trans Am race this weekend as well. And of course, he won the first road course race this season. So it's been down the last few races for Christopher Bell. They've kind of slipped in points, even though they're locked into the playoffs with that win. They would have been in that playoff bubble if they didn't have that win. So very good for them to be locked into that. But I just got a good feeling about Christopher Bell this weekend, given his past success here. Had some issues at Coda, didn't have a great run at Sonoma, but I feel good about him this weekend at Road America. So I'm going to take a swing on Christopher Bell to round out my lineup here at Road America.
Okay. Interesting. I did not have Bell on my radar whatsoever for this split. Yeah.
A little bit surprised by that.
I like this position. I like knowing what you've done. I've missed this. I will say that I've really missed having this opportunity to go on my own different adventure.
If you win, you get to feel it a lot more often. But
that is true. But they have been very far between. I'm not even going to say few because I haven't had many. So this is a big opportunity for me, to be honest here, because I think I can pick somebody better than Christopher Bell for this one. I hate to slate him, but I think there's potential here for somebody else. There's kind of 2 names that I'm really looking at here. It's Alex Bowman and Kurt Busch. Just based off of their ability to grind out points. And it's been pretty remarkable to see what those 2 have been able to do so far. Kurt Busch of late has been starting to find his groove a little bit more. I think he's probably going to be trying to race for a ride a little bit coming into this weekend, as he doesn't really know what he's kind of doing potentially. For Bowman, been pretty damn solid on the road courses as the only other guy besides Joey Logano to finish inside the top 10, which is crazy to think. Maybe he hasn't been running there this entire time, but finishing there is probably the most important thing in terms of getting you the actual points. So there are a lot of guys I could go with here. I mean, I'll get into the honorable mentions in just a second, but for my last pick here, I'm going to go Alex Bowman. I just like the Hendrick power right now, and they've been just on such a roll lately that I think that there's potential for Bowman to do something pretty decently this weekend. Shooting for a top 10 finish here, maybe a couple of stage points. I've got 4 usages left on the 48 car, so I don't feel like I'm in jeopardy of really using them all as the season winds down. He'll be a nice placeholder kind of guy for me as the season rolls along in a couple of different places, but this is probably going to be one of, if not the last road course I really play him on with the uncertainty this weekend. I think Bowman's a pretty level-headed guy, and hopefully he can get something out of this weekend and get me a solid result. So that's my lineup. I kind of like where we're at, pretty evenly matched, I'd say. Obviously 5 of 6, and comes down to Bowman versus Bell, the battle of the bees. And let's take a look at the honorable mentions here and the stay away froms. There's a plethora of guys you could really go with this weekend, to be honest. Even though we have 5 of the same, you can go a lot of different avenues with your lineup this weekend. Yep. Kyle Larson, been sensational this season. If you have 4 usages left on him, what have you been doing? But if you have 4 usages, play him this weekend. Try him out, see what he can do at the road course here at Road America. There could be some potential there with the 5 car. If you don't have 4 usages or something like that, maybe even 3, I would stay away from him. There's a couple of better options, I would think, a little bit down the road, but he's still worthy of an honorable mention. Going for that regular season points championship, obviously, is probably a bit of an incentive as well for him. William Byron has been an interesting candidate on these road courses, has been good in spurts, has been bad in spurts. It's just been kind of hit or miss with him, but he's definitely worthy of an honorable mention. We are both in a very tricky usage situation with the 24 car, so there's no way we could even remotely think about using him this weekend. But if you have 3 or 4, maybe you want to do it. Maybe you want to pull the plug on Byron and use him this weekend, but we're at 2 usages each. We cannot pull that plug this weekend. Kyle Busch, the winner at Pocono in the second race, running the Xfinity Series race, getting a couple of extra laps as well, could be a potential option here. You are down to more or less usages than I am with Kyle Busch. I have 4.
I'll be honest, I thought you were going to go Kyle Busch this weekend.
Yep. I don't have confidence at Road America here. I just don't quite think this is the place for Kyle Busch. I really like him at a lot of the tracks coming up. Atlanta next weekend, potentially maybe like a New Hampshire. Watkins Glen is a for sure play for me because that's a road course he's been the best at in his career so far. I will say he has been much better on these traditional road courses than your Roval type tracks like the Daytona Road Course and the Charlotte Roval. But we'll see what happens with the 18 car. I'm just not going to be the guy that plays him and then I look like a dummy and he doesn't quite perform the one weekend I do use him. But it's definitely a good usage. If you have 4 like me, you probably do want to play him this weekend, but as a Kyle Busch fan, I feel like I have a little bit more of an inside knowledge on how well he can maybe perform at some tracks. So I'm going to stay away from him this weekend, but he's definitely an honorable mention. Obviously, Kurt Busch, I mentioned, I think he's going to be a pretty solid bet this weekend. I'm assuming most of you have usages left on the one car after the season that he's had, but he's going to be going for stage points and stage racing to try and get himself into that playoff hunt. Could be a potential snag in terms of getting some unexpected points. He's an underrated road course racer at times. Maybe this is a weekend that Kurt Busch prevails and actually gets the finish, unfortunately, after the second Pocono race where he ran out of gas. Then we go to the Ford stable here with 3 consecutive guys. All group in 4 actually here with Michael Mcdowell. As you said, very good option this weekend. If you're going to play Mcdowell at a road course, this is probably the best option. Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski, and Chris Buescher all fall into a very similar category for me. Chris Buescher first in a playoff battle for that regular season kind of points battle on the cut line. Gonna need a good day. He has to perform on the road courses if he expects to make the playoffs. Maybe this is a weekend where he could do that. Brad Keselowski, if you don't remember, no, this is not actually. I'm dumb. I was gonna make a point here, but I just remember now that it's wrong. But I think he did test here at Road America once. But I think the race that he did break his foot back in 2011 was at Road Atlanta. It was not Road America. So I was going to make that point, but then I realized I think it's Road Atlanta. So I'm going to stay away from that instead of going to the comments and finding out that I've misprinted or missaid that Michael Jordan has 81 points and Kobe Bryant has 69. Not a great look on me there, but Brad Keselowski could be an interesting one this weekend along with his teammate Ryan Blaney. They've been very much hit or miss on road courses, and maybe this is a weekend they hit, maybe this is a weekend they miss, but they're definitely deserving of an honorable mention. And then the final 2, I have Christopher Bell in here as an honorable mention, but at the back half of it. But then Ross Chastain could be an interesting play this weekend. Yep. Finished very well at the Circuit of the Americas race, and could be a sneaky play if he does well in qualifying. Maybe there's some room for opportunity to get you some appreciated points from Ross Chastain. Stay away from. I've got 3 this weekend: Denny Hamblin, Kevin Harvick, and Austin Dillon. All 3 of these guys are not really road racers. As much as Hamlin has had pretty decent success so far on the road courses, I just don't think this is a play for him this weekend at Road America. If you're going to go somewhere, I'd say Watkins Glen is more of a road course that I would play Denny Hamlin if I were even considering it. But based off of my usage situation, there's no way I can even think about playing Denny Hamlin this weekend. So I'm staying away from him. You could put him in your lineup for sure. I don't think it'd be a bad option, but I don't think this is getting full value out of a Denny Hamlin usage. Kevin Harvick, I know he's running the Xfinity Series race for BJ McLeod this weekend in the number 99. I just don't see it this weekend for Kevin Harvick. This is this is just a tough place to really see that this is the driving style of the 4-car, really. They just aren't good on road courses as an organization either. So I think it's going to be hard pressed for them to compete against some of these guys that are in more of a dire situation points wise than the 4-car as well. Obviously winless so far, but I think there's better opportunities for Harvick down the stretch here than Road America to play usage. If you're in more of a difficult usage situation, we're both at 3, I believe, with Harvick. So I don't think we're even in a position.
I've got 4.
You got 4? Okay. But I wasn't even looking at Harvick this weekend. I don't know if you were, but and then the last one. Oh,
no, sorry. I am down to 3. I forgot I used them that second time this weekend.
That's what I thought. But yeah, Austin Dillon, last one, just not a road course racer, plain and simple. I don't want to spend any more time on that. Austin Dillon
doesn't have a single career top 10. So
no. So despite him being in a decent situation in points wise, this is not a great weekend for Austin Dillon.
Kaz Gralla in one start on a road course for RCR at the Cup Series level has more top 10s than Austin Dillon has in his career. That I think about does that basically says it all.
Exactly. I think that'll do it for the honorable mentions and the stay away froms. It's the bonus picks time, and this is where the week's probably going to get decided here based off of how similar our lineups are. I lead this one off, correct?
Yes.
Top Chevrolet. Man, this is tough. This is tough.
Is it?
Isn't it?
I don't think it's that tough.
Really?
No.
Interesting. I don't like going first for Top Chevrolet because that's the hardest one. Chase Elliott or Kyle Larson really is what it comes down to for me here. I'll I don't like this. I'll go Kyle Larson.
Really? Wow. Little surprised by that. I'm going Chase Elliott for Top Chevrolet. Sonoma was and has been for his entire career Kyle Larson's kind of best road course, and we saw him perform very well this year with Hendrick Motorsports. He was good at COTA, but a little bit behind Elliott. He was good at the Daytona road course, but a little bit behind Elliott. I feel like this is one that swings towards Chase Elliott style more so than Kyle Larson. Could be very much proven wrong and see Kyle Larson up at the front the entire day, get pole and lead the whole time. It's very possible for him. I just feel like this Road America suits Chase Elliott more so than Kyle Larson this weekend. So I am going with Chase Elliott for Top Chevrolet. To Top Ford, and going pretty chalk with this one, Joey Logano as top 4. He's finished inside the top 5 in each of the road courses so far this season. Ryan Blaney hasn't shown that same road course ability or speed as in past years. He's been a very good passer so far this season on road courses, but for some reason that car just hasn't been up to snuff in terms of speed. Brad Keselowski, kind of similar. He's had some moments, but hasn't been all too great on the road courses. And you look at Stuart Haas, I don't believe in really any of them. And so Joey Logano was kind of the one guy remaining. So Joey Logano going to be the top 4 choice for myself.
Same here. It's been a really hate relationship between myself and Logano in this category. I'm just doing it to match you, but I did have him down before the show. He's just an easy option for me this weekend. No brainer based off of his success so far this season. And we'll see what happens with the 22. Maybe this is the weekend where he slows down on road courses, or, he just keeps that consistency going. Who knows at this point? Top Toyota. This is interesting.
Yeah.
There's a couple of options here. You got potentially Denny Hamlin, potentially Christopher Bell, even because you have him in your lineup. So you think a little bit more highly than him this weekend than I personally do. Kyle Busch and Martin Trixx Jr. All 4 of these guys, honestly, if a situation goes their way, could potentially be the top Toyota.
It's a realistic
finisher.
Scenario where any of them finish top Toyota.
Exactly. So I'm interested to see where you go with this one. But for me, based off of him not being in my lineup, I'm sticking to my guy, Kyle Busch, just because I want to have a little bit of protection here just in case he does have that good weekend that I'm a little bit hesitant to believe. Hopefully the practice will help him a bit this weekend. He has, we've heard he likes that practice. So I think that could do him well. And Truex just hadn't shown it to me lately. Kyle Busch has been the one that's competing with the Hendrick cars. So until that kind of stops or somebody else challenges him with that kind of prowess that we've seen over the past 2 months or so, I'm going with Kyle Busch.
I'm going Truex for top Toyota here, just simply because he's one of the best at doing this discipline in NASCAR right now. They've been on a bit of a slump, but even with that, Sonoma was during the slump, and we saw them be a top 5 car, even though in normal years we would have expected them to kind of be the front runner. So I will hear some of that, but practice qualifying, I feel like suits up well for Truex here. Didn't get to see his true potential at Circuit of the Americas. So I feel pretty solid here at Road America. I just feel like the style of this road course, it's a longer one. There are some slow speed corners, but a lot of these are kind of second or third gear corners. It's going to really benefit the drivers that have that road course ability, that know where the limit is, not to take too much, but know how to push the car in certain corners. So I definitely like Truex this weekend, given the style of road course as well.
Alrighty, winning manufacturer.
Chevrolet. Just simply put, even if you want to do the double with Hendrick, anything like that, they've just got the most people that can win. You look at any 4 of those Hendrick cars, they can win on a road course. You can look at Kurt Busch. He can be a contender on road courses. Even Ross Chastain has been a contender on road courses at points this season. And you look at the one-off entry of AJ Allmendinger as well. So you're looking at anywhere of like 4 to 5 like legit contenders to anywhere from like 7 to 8 wild cards as well. So manufacturer Chevrolet is a fairly easy pick for myself here.
Likewise, they're a no-brainer. They have the most options. They have the most competitive cars that could potentially win this race.
Yep.
No-brainer for me on this one. Winning organization.
Yeah,
this is a tough one, really, because if you want to split it here,
streak's over. So
it is over.
Splitting it last time out did help you out with Joe Gibbs there.
I know. And there's definitely potential that a JGR car does upset the field here and maybe does beat Chase Elliott or Kyle Larson this weekend, given their strength of their lineup on road courses. But saying that, the road course program for Hendrick Motorsports this season has been ridiculous.
Yep.
And until that stops, I'm going to be riding the Hendrick Motorsports train. They're going to be my winning organization this weekend.
Yep, same for myself. Not going to overthink it. Yes, there was a blip last time out, but if Kyle Busch hadn't have hit that lap later and had been on the same cycle as everybody else, Kyle Larson would have been the one probably in victory lane, unless Kyle Busch was able to miraculously save as much as Kyle Larson was able to. So I don't know. I feel like last weekend was kind of weird strategy, blip in the radar. If it wasn't for that weird strategy at the end, it probably would have been William Byron in victory lane for Hendrick again. So I'm going to say that Hendrick is probably the favorite once again. They've just got 4 guys that could win this race, whether it's Chase Elliott as the favorite, Kyle Larson from what we saw so far this season with him on road courses and just kind of in general being dominant, William Byron, who's shown glimpses on road courses but hasn't put it together this season, has had some bad luck on road courses, and then Alex Bowman, who's always kind of in the conversation, and if something happens, he can be there to capitalize. So Hendrick Motorsports as well for my top organization.
All righty. You get an Xfinity Series winner pick here first.
Yes.
But usually
I usually do as well. So it's not like I get a first pick at Trucks or anything like that. Usually I have first pick for Xfinity. So this part isn't as fun or different for myself. But I am not going with the Cup ringer. I am going with Austin Cindric to win the Xfinity Series race for this one. I just think that Road America is one of, if not his best road course. And this is a discipline that he's extremely, extremely talented in. There's some good contenders in that field, namely Kyle Busch and AJ Allmendinger. But I feel like Cindric has that extra step on the field here at Road America. So I'm going to take him to win the Xfinity Series race on Saturday.
Well, I had Cindric written down for myself just in case you did take him. I could take AJ Allmendinger here, but it would be wrong for me to go against my guy. So I'm going to take Kyle Busch. You're going to leave him for me. I'll take him. I don't care. Like, even if he doesn't win, it's just basically fandom at this point. But I'm not confident in him maybe to win this weekend for the Xfinity Series race. I think Cindric probably will win this race. But why not? On the off chance that Eminem's car ends up in victory lane, I'll take that shot and take Kyle Busch for the Xfinity Series winner pick. That's not for bonus points. This one is Cup Series.
Yes.
The big one, July 4th. A big race on NBC for the first time this season as well for their network.
Yeah.
So that's going to be kind of their kind of Kickstarter for the season. Hopefully ratings are good for this one on Sunday.
Nice 2:30 start time on the East Coast as well. So an earlier start time versus some of the usual ones.
Yeah.
Probably usually more in like that 3 to 4 range on the East. So trying to take advantage of that holiday, July 4th, all that kind of stuff. So very interested to see what the ratings are like here at Road America. I figured that it probably would have gone back to Indianapolis and just been on the Grand Prix circuit versus the Brickyard or anything like that. I did like that day for Indianapolis. I wonder if maybe they look to it in the future when they can have fans in the building, stuff like that. But at least for this weekend, it's a big, definitely a time slot for Road America to kind of show what they got at the Cup Series level.
Pressure's on. Road America. Deliver.
Pressure's on for yourself as well, because if you lose, I seal the regular season championship.
Yeah, I've kind of given up on that. I'm not going to lie, but
hey, you can rattle off 7 in a row. You never know.
maybe if luck goes my way. But despite having Kyle Larson as my top Chevrolet, that was to cover my bases. I'm not leaving you Chase Elliott here.
Okay.
He's my Cup Series winner pick. I'm not going to beat around the bush with this one. I feel pretty confident in the 9 car, but on the off chance the 5 car does bring their best stuff this weekend and they do rival the 9 car, I do have a little bit of backbone here that can compensate for that. And if I didn't take Chase Elliott here, that would mean if he does have a solid weekend, you are going to pummel me in fantasy here. So to try and compensate for that, I'm going all in on Hendrick Motorsports, Chevrolet, Hendrick, and Chase Elliott here. I think the 9 car is going to be the car to beat. If he doesn't end up in victory lane, honestly, it's probably a disappointment by his standards and by many expectations around the industry as well. So easy no-brainer for me. Chase Elliott wins the race on Sunday.
I would have loved if he left me Chase Elliott, because I do feel like this is a Chase Elliott win this weekend, but I think we're going to get a bit of a throwback this weekend. Just given Road America, long road course, the higher speed corners, all this kind of stuff. I feel like this road course suits very well to Martin Truex Jr.'s style, so I'm going to take him as the race winner. And I think we could get a bit of a throwback Watkins Glen type battle between Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr. this weekend. Feel good about that 19 car this weekend, and feel like Truex can be up there battling for the win. So I'll take him as the race winner. Cover my bases with the Chase Elliott top Chevy pick, so you don't get the full 15 on me. If you get that right, you only get the plus 10. So I'll swing on Truex here, because I do think of the road courses coming up the rest of the season, what do we got here still to go? We got 2 more, season. And that's Indianapolis and Watkins Glen. Yes, of course, back. So Watkins Glen is the one where we kind of know the most because of the history we've got. Of course, hasn't been on the schedule last year, so a couple of those rookies we don't necessarily know about, but we know the big dogs that show up there. For kind of the 2 new ones, Road America, Indianapolis, the rest of the season, I feel better about Truex at Road America. I feel like this could really be a solid one for kind of his strength as a road course driver. So I'll take him for the win here.
I wasn't expecting you to take Truex, but fair play. Yeah. Fair play.
Yeah.
You're more confident in him than probably I am.
You probably thought I would have gone Larson, right?
I think to kind of canceling me out, yes. But
I don't know. I just, and obviously this is going to be pretty stupid to say when he goes out and wins this weekend, but I just don't feel like this is a Larson weekend.
Interesting. I feel like every weekend has been a Larson weekend lately.
He's still going to get a top 5 or a top 10. But I don't know. When I look at Sonoma, that's been his best one in terms of single lap. He showed very well there. Of course, this in the regular season race here, Chip Ganassi, he had some equipment issues and whatnot. But at other road courses, it hasn't quite been to that same level. So if he can do it other than Sonoma, then I'll put him in that same category as your Elliott's, Truex's, whatever, but just a slight bit behind just for now. So that's my thought here, but he can go out and just dominate all 3 sessions.
I mean, for me, it was just like, we'd never seen anything like what he did at Sonoma, winning the stages and the race and like literally blowing through the field. Like no matter what strategy he did.
The only other time that we've seen in the stage era somebody get all 60 points, win the race, win the stages. That was Chase Elliott the last time we were at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, it's almost ridiculous how good that performance was, and you don't see it. It's very rare, and
because you got to have the confidence at these road courses to go win the stage and have the confidence in your driver in the mid pack to not wreck yourself or get damaged or anything, but to make your way back up through the field. And we saw that from Larson, and obviously paid off big there. But I'm fascinated to see how this Road America race goes, because it is a very different road course from some of the other ones we've had on the schedule so far this year. So we could see some different players involved, could see the same ones. So interested to see who kind of rises to the top through practice, through qualifying, and then into race day. Oh,
for sure.
Speaking of, we got one more to do. We got pole picks, because we got that again.
Oh, no.
I forgot about that. Got to do our pole picks. I get the first pick as well. So you get to wait on that one. But pole for Road America. Where do I want to go for that one, eh? I can see by your reaction you don't know where to go.
No. I wouldn't even think about it.
One thing I will say is that I wish they still did like the single car qualifying, not this like group qualifying format, because I want to watch the laps, not just the last corner of them. That's another gripe that I have with Formula One's qualifying format as well. We only see the last corner of every lap instead of the whole laps. Supercars, they do it right. They have group qualifying and then a fast 9. It's the best one. But anyways, enough of my supercars propaganda. It was Tyler Reddick that got pole at Coda, right?
Yes.
So a bit of a wild card one last time out. Where do I want to go for this one? Where do I want to go for Road America? One lap at Road America. I will say, where do I want to go? You know what? I'll say Chase Elliott does get it done and gets the pole at Road America.
Okay. Based off of one lap speed, Kyle Larson. The guy just gets the most out of the equipment on a one lap basis. So I'm just gonna go with the 5 car, even if they can't keep that up consistently. Their one lap pace is ridiculous, and I don't know if I'm gonna see a car like this dominate on road courses in terms of single lap speed ever. Like it's just really impressive what they've been able to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that'll
last time we had qualifying at Road America, of course, 2019 Xfinity, AJ Allmendinger was on pole for that race. So
maybe
interesting there.
Imagine if the Dinger pulls it off, eh?
Interesting there. If you go back to 2018, this one's a little bit surprising. Matt Tifft with the pole award in 2018.
Is that the race he almost won?
Yes, that was the one he finished.
The Jeremy Clements one?
Oh, no, sorry. He finished runner-up to Justin Allgaier in that one. So,
okay.
It was the year before. Yeah, 2017 was Jeremy Clements. So,
yeah.
And funny enough, completely forgot that this happened. Noted Rick Ware racer James Davison with a third place starting position for Joe Gibbs Racing in that 2018 race. So how about that one as a little bit of a throwback?
They've always had very interesting guys fill in their cars on these race weekends.
I absolutely love looking back at those. The road course ringers, man, just hold a dear place in my heart.
That's it's a fun little place in NASCAR history. It's good history questions down the line. Who was in the Joe Gibbs car at this point, or whoever's in this car at this point on a one-off race weekend? But shall we go through our lineups one more time here, Kyle, before we wrap up today's episode?
Just quickly beforehand, though, because it is a bit of a looking back at Chip Ganassi racing and everything kind of throughout this episode, and we're talking about road course ringers. One of the best ones to do it, Scott Pruitt. So there you go.
Wow, nice shout out there. But you lead us off with your lineup.
Yes, going to the lineup. Very similar lineups for this one, and kind of expected that. But very interested to see how things play out this weekend. Regardless, I'm excited for this one. We got Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano, AJ Allmendinger, and Austin Cindric, both in our lineups. Going different, though. Taking the swing on Christopher Bell, won on a road course earlier this year, has won at this track at the Xfinity level, beating some pretty good road course racers. hoping for some of that to translate, and is running the TA2 Trans Am race this weekend, which are kind of equivalent to ARCA cars in terms of the way they drive. So that's the driver lineup. To the bonus picks: Chase Elliott, top Chevy; Joey Logano, top Ford; Martin Truex Jr., top Toyota. Going very chalk with that one, hoping for maybe a bit of a normal race, not the chaos at the front, knowing that we're going to get chaos at the front. Top Chevrolet for manufacturer, Hendrick for organization, Austin Cindric, I say, will get the win on Saturday in the Xfinity race, and Martin Truex Jr. will go out and win on the Sunday.
Pole
as well. Yes, I'm sorry, I forgot. I didn't have that written down. Chase Elliott, I'll say gets the pole.
All righty. For myself, basically copy and paste from Kyle apart from one. So Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano, AJ Allmendinger, and Austin Cindric. The one difference being he is Christopher Bell. I've gone with Alex Bowman. For the bonus picks: top Chevrolet, Kyle Larson; top Ford, Joey Logano; top Toyota, Kyle Busch; winning manufacturer, Chevrolet; winning organization, Hendrick Motorsports. For the Xfinity Series, I'm going with KFB. Rowdy gets it done for 101. And then Cup Series winner pick on the Sunday on July 4th, Chase Elliott. Cup Series pole as well on the Sunday morning, Kyle Larson. So star-studded lineups here for ourselves this weekend. Looking forward to it. Any final thoughts before we wrap up yet another fantasy preview?
This is a very, very long course, 4+ miles here. So interested to see how things go. If it is a bit of a chaotic race, we could be in for some big breaks between kind of green flag action, which is the concern going to a place like Road America. But if we keep things green, I really, really like this road course for kind of the different style that it brings. There are some pretty high speed corners. You think about the kink as the big one, as being basically not a thought in sports cars or Indy cars or anything like that, and being a menacing, costly, potentially turn in NASCAR. So very excited for this one. In terms of it just kind of being a different breed of a road course, one of the premier circuits in the States, and definitely a place that is deserving of a Cup Series date, but now they got to go improve it on the Sunday. So excited to see what we get from Road America this weekend.
Yeah, I'm a bit hesitant, but I'm excited. I will say that coming into this weekend, only because how long this circuit is, and I'm not sure what to expect with the Cup Series guys here. But I'm sure we're going to see the best of the best kind of come to the front at some point in time. It's a long enough track, lots of overtaking opportunities for these guys. So there's, you got to conserve your stuff probably because it is such a long lap. And, we've seen a lot of fuel mileage stuff in the past year in the Xfinity Series, all guy running out and everything under the caution, coming to the checker flag. Like there's been a lot of different things over the years at Road America in the Xfinity Series. We'll see what the Cup Series presents this weekend on Sunday on NBC. Green flag kicking off at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. So a bit of an earlier one there as well. I will be covering the race for TSN. So go check that out. The link in the video description will be there for the NASCAR on TSN page so that you guys can check out the clips and everything and tweets and all that fun stuff that I will be posting this weekend for them. But
I think the big question for the TSN stuff: do we prepare the Chase Elliott win graphic?
No, I'm not.
Ooh, okay.
I'm not that confident in it. Like I gotta be impartial. Like I can't have anything really prepped unless he's like 5 seconds ahead after the first 2 laps. Then maybe I'll start to get it going. But I gotta wait for the pictures to come in, and that's always the part with Getty. Fair. So we'll see what happens with it. But most likely you will see a Chase Elliott graphic on the TSM page. But if it doesn't, looking forward to seeing who does end up in victory lane besides Chase Elliott. Could Martin Truex Jr. play the spoiler? That's surely what Kyle thinks with his winner pick. But make sure to follow us on Instagram at The Green Flag Pod, as well as Twitter at The Green Flag Pod. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. We would really, really appreciate it. It's been a great couple of weeks on the channel, so thank you all so much for your support. We just passed 2,000 views on our silly season predictions video as well, and that has already been wiped out the window in almost 2 weeks time.
A decent amount.
I mean, it's been quite a bit of busy weeks here since we've done that, but there's still some things we could probably get right. I'm not going to be getting anything right probably once again, but go check it out if you want to, and it's definitely a fun episode that we enjoy doing on that front. But for this episode, I've been Lukas Wacker. He's been Kyle Cushman, signing off for now. Enjoy the racing for Motor America this weekend. Should be a good one. And if you are an American, happy July 4th weekend. Celebrate good, celebrate safe, and enjoy the racing this weekend, everybody.